How's everybody doing? I had a great debate with Snake last night or yesterday, and he said something about the majority of Christians are, are no, the majorities of scientists are Christians, the quote unquote majority. So he was talking about a Pew Research, so I wanted to go look at the Pew Research, and sure enough, a quote unquote majority, slim majority of the scientists claim to be Christians. Or let's go ahead and look at it, see what it says anyway. Because uh, it helps to look at the results of the surveys. So let's go here, and where am I going? Oh, I'm going over here. Okay. I'm going over here. That's where I'm going. Okay. So I think this is what he was referring to. The general public, 83% of people of the general public believe in God. 12% don't believe in God, but do believe in something else. Could be aliens, for that matter. Okay, scientists. This is where he gets the over 50%. I think, or it's not even over 50% anyway. But the scientists, 33% believe in God. So then, what's 33 plus 80? 18. What's that? 51%. 51. 51% of scientists are quote unquote Christians. No, 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 not Christians. Because 18%, see, he was wrong. He was lying. And he's the one that says Christians lie all the time. Because this 18% is people that believe in a universal, who don't believe in God. These are people that don't believe in God and believe in a universal spirit or higher power, which could be an alien for that matter. But that's people who don't believe in God. So it's only 33% of scientists that actually believe in God. And I didn't want to say that I question whether or not they're Christians, because then they would go, oh, no true Scotsman fallacy. But here, it's 51%. If you add those who don't believe in God and believe in a universal spirit or higher power, then it's 51%. Right? That's 51%, right? Because it's 41% that don't believe in either, plus 7. So whatever. 7, 8. 52%? Anyway, whatever. I don't know if the numbers are adding up here, but anyway. So let's go ahead and look at the thing here, because there's some interesting results, but it's not, the majority of scientists are not Christians. Believing in the God isn't necessarily a Christian anyway, to begin with. Believe in God is belief in God. Is not necessarily. If you ask them, are you a Christian? Are you born again? No, that would be more like maybe a lot less. But anyways, so it all depends. We all know it's how you ask the question anyway. But this is interesting here. Religious affiliation among the general public and scientists. Okay, general public is one thing, scientists is something very different. Now, this is where you get the majority, I mean, a big number, big percentage of scientists who are atheist and agnostic. and nothing in particular. So scientists are nothing in particular or don't know or refused, which puts it over the 50% remark. 50% mark, who are atheist, agnostics, nothing in particular, don't know or refused. That's already over 50% there, at least from the way I'm looking at it. Well, we got 8% Jewish who could be atheist too. We got Catholic who could be atheist. We got mainline Protestant, 16% mainline Protestant, whatever that is, and 4% evangelical Protestant, 10% other religion. So, but the general public is 23% mainline Protestant, 28% evangelical Protestant, 24% Catholic, 12% nothing in particular. Then there's Jewish 2%, atheist 2%, agnostic 2%. So it's about 4% that are atheist or agnostic in the general population. See, the general public is more educated than the scientists because they can see through all the nonsense a lot of the times. A lot of the times when you don't realize it, they can see through the nonsense. But it's the educated people that are misled because of their quote unquote education. They know a lot of what is not so. So it's you can safely say that the over 50% don't believe in God because you have atheist, agnostic, nothing in particular, don't know or refuse. Plus, you have the Jewish, which is a good percentage of atheists. 8% Jewish is a lot of them are probably atheist because that's they got to distinguish with Jewish atheist from Jewish atheists from Jewish believers. You can't just be Jewish because Jewish is a race. So you got to distinguish between Jewish atheists and Jewish believers because it's not all the same thing. So it's well over 50% that don't believe in God, basically. And other religions is they believe in maybe they don't believe in the all powerful God. So I don't know what Snake was saying about Pew Research because this is not showing that the majority of scientists are Christian. It's not showing that because if you go back up here, it's only 33% of scientists that believe in God. 33%. The other 18% is people who don't believe in God. Do not believe in God. The 18% do not believe in God. They believe in aliens or some kind of force or whatever. But they don't believe in a God. So they're not Christians. And the 33% are people that claim to be Christians and aren't necessarily Christians. So let's go look at this here. Religious belief among scientists. It's the same thing. Who believe in God, who don't believe in God. So it's that 33%. All scientists. It's only 33% who believe in God. The rest do not. So it's not. So the majority of scientists are not Christians. See, I told you can't believe what Snake says. I told you. I told you. I knew it. I knew he was lying. Okay, so let's look at this. The men, 33%. Women, 35%. This is interesting. Age 18 to 34, 42% of young scientists believe in God. That's interesting. Then as they get older, the less they believe in God. Scientists, that is, which is interesting. But you have a large number, 24%, who believe in a universe, cosmic woo. So 24% of millennial scientists believe in cosmic woo, which is, I knew was the trend. I knew it would be the trend anyway. And 32% don't believe in either. So you either have quote unquote Christians, people who claim to be Christians, and people that believe in cosmic woo, which is not the same thing. So anyway, the older ones don't believe because they're more uneducated. They learn too much of what is not so. Okay, so we got biological and medical. That's supposed to be high. I've always heard that the medical and the biological believed more in God. I mean, less in God. The biological field, I thought they were believe less, but it's probably changing. It's probably changing because the more you look at biology, the more you have to realize there's a creator. If you don't, you're not looking at the evidence. Here we go. Chemistry is high. 41% of chemists believe in God, which is interesting. And I thought the physicists, a lot of them believe in God. Well, a lot do. I mean, 29%. That's almost 30%. Geoscience is is geology, 30%, which is above the. No, it's not above. That's 30%. The average. All science is 33%. Okay, so geoscience is below average. Medical medical is about the same. Physics is below average. The chemistry is way above average for some reason. You have 14% that believe in cosmic woo and 39% that don't believe. Who don't believe in either. Don't believe in cosmic woo and don't believe in God. So, and the physicists, 46% don't believe in either. And of course, the 11% who don't know or refused probably don't believe. So you can include that probably in the number that don't believe. So that puts the physicists over the 50%, puts the geoscience at about 50%, puts chemistry less than 50% that don't believe in God or cosmic woo. You got less than 50% of biomedical field that doesn't believe in God. And that's just barely over 50% that believe in either cosmic woo or God. So yeah, it's just wrong. It's wrong to say that the majority of scientists are Christians. That's just flat out falsehood. So I just wanted to check that out, and I happened to prove Snake wrong again. Snake, by the way, is a uh, deceitful liar. No, not snake was right, but I mean a snake. The name snake is a is associated with a deceitful liar, and snake was right. Happens to be following that trend because this is just one of his claims. It's only one of his claims. The majority of Christians are scientists, and you can see here that it's not true because believing in cosmic woo is not a Christian, and it's doubtful that the other 33% actually believe in God. They claim to believe in God. I guess maybe it's close, but it's they. I'm sure they don't understand that salvation is through sanctification by the Spirit, believing what is true. Not all of them. I mean, what percentage of them, of the 33%, know that salvation is through sanctification by the Spirit and believing what is true? That you have to be born again. Probably not 33%. And that's not a no true Scotsman. It's a definition of what a Christian is. But this, the general public, I'm impressed with the general public that they don't believe the nonsense. They don't believe the nonsense, and only 12% cosmic woo and 4% atheist or agnostic, 5%. Only 1% refused or said they didn't know. So I guess we're not doing so bad. I don't know what date this was. 2006, July 2006. It's not too old. But yeah, we got to work on them scientists because those scientists are, they're either believing in cosmic woo or they're 41% and 7% that don't believe in God. So it's almost 50% that don't believe in God. And of course, if you believe in cosmic woo, you don't believe in God anyway. To begin with, that's 18%. So that puts it well over the 50% mark. Anyway, sorry for being jittery here. Going too fast. But this is interesting though. Of course, the from 2% of the general public, it's inflated to 17% atheist. Oh, I want to talk about atheists too because atheism is a nothing. It's a nothing burger. Atheism can't tell you what is. Agnostic can't tell you what is. Nothing in particular can't tell you what is. Don't know or refuse can't tell you what is. And atheist can't tell you what is. And a good percent of the Jewish population who are atheists can't tell you what is because atheism doesn't tell you what is. It only tries to say there are no powers, no gods. And we know that gods exist. We know there's lightning. We know there's thunder. We know there's volcanoes. We know there's kings. We know there's pharaohs. We know there's powers, governing authorities, powers. We know they exist. And Jesus said, "You are all gods." So we exist. So atheism is wrong because we exist and we are gods. So even what atheism tries to say, it's wrong in what it tries to say because it tries to say there's no powers, there's no gods. When there are powers, there are gods because we are God. Because we exist, atheism is wrong. Atheism trying to say that we don't exist, and we do exist. We are gods. That's a definition of what a God is. And all gods get their power from God. Everything that we do is by the power that God supplies us. It's either by the power of the ability that we have by way of the ordering that we have, the programming that we have, or it's by the power of energy itself, which is also given to us by God. So atheism is nothing. Atheism is like a nothing. It's like smoke and mirrors. It's nothing. It's like atheism is like the Wizard of Oz. It's nothing. It's all fabricated. It's all fake. Nothing. And the thing that bothers me the most is that these are supposed to be scientists. These are the knuckleheads that are supposed to know what they're talking about, and they know nothing because they believe nothing. They believe nonsense, and they know nothing. Look at this. Agnostic knows nothing. Atheist believes in nothing. 20% nothing in particular. 4% refused and don't know. These are the scientists. These are the people that are supposed to know. And the more they learn, the more they don't know because what they want to know doesn't exist. What they want to believe is true doesn't exist. So, you know, it's a fairly large number of mainline Protestants, which is probably just in word only, but 4% evangelical Protestant. 4% is more like a number that I would say that the number of Christians that exist and that actually are Christians that live and practice Christian teaching, that believe truth and follow the truth and do what it says is more like 4%. I'm guessing, but that seems more reasonable to me. But it's definitely not 50% anyway. And this mainline Protestant isn't actually, this is just people in word only. And Catholic is pretty much in word only too, with few exceptions maybe. Jewish is highly atheist, with a few exceptions, of course. And because Jewish is a race, it's got nothing to do with belief. You know, what are you? I'm Jewish. It's like Richard Wurmbrand when he was tortured for Christ. The communists, when it was time to punish the Christians, the communists would come around and say, "What are you?" He'd say, "I'm Jewish." Then it was when it was time for the Jewish people to get their beating, they'd come around and say, "What are you?" He said, "I'm Christian." Because there are Christian Jews too, for that matter. And some of these scientists could be Christian Jews too. But, the communists didn't know. They switched all the time. The people that had to go beat people once in a while, they would go. They didn't know who they were beating. They would ask him, "What are you? Are you Christian or Jewish?" uh, so it's not Jewish is a race. That's not a belief. And Judaism is a belief, but not Jewish. Anyway, just like a lot of Protestants aren't actually believers. either, for that matter. But I guess I'm starting to ramble. So, well, let's say that's about it. But this chemistry, that's pretty interesting. And Snake is supposed to be a biological chemist. And 41% of biological chemists believe in God, actually believe in God. That's higher than the 30% average. And 14%, only 14% believe in cosmic woo. That's the same as the physicists. And 39% plus 7% don't believe, which is just under 50%. Anyway, so that's that. It's good enough. 33%. 33% of scientists are Christians. That means, claiming to be Christians. That means it's less than 50%. This other 18% believes in cosmic woo. They don't believe in God. It says don't believe in God, but believe in a universal spirit or higher power. That's cosmic woo. That's aliens. That's whatever. That's not a belief in God. They don't believe in God. So they're not Christians, obviously, because the Christians believe in God. So, and these people who believe in God aren't necessarily Christians anyway, to begin with. So it's not a majority of scientists who are Christians. That's not true. Snake lied. So that's that. That's that. That's it is. So that's should end the broadcast, but again, they're speaking rubbish to us. They're telling us rubbish. That's why I don't believe anything he says. Check it out. It's not even true what he said. So, and he's always saying that Christians lie, always lie. Christians don't always lie. Christians always tell the truth. Only your Maker can perfectly cover for you himself and remake you again from the inside out by the power of his true word and his spirit, as no one else can. That is the truth. That is the only truth. That is the eternal truth forever.